And we're back. Good morning. It's 1:27 a.m. on the East Coast, July 13th. In a few weeks, the Olympics will be here. Okay. I want to talk about the great right hype. I don't look at award shows. I stopped watching the Oscars and the music award shows, and quite honestly, I've never been in tune with the ESPYs. I just haven't. Lots of navel gazing among athletes, celebrities, whatever, and just don't have the patience to sit through all of that. It's not really relevant to me. And, well, I'm not interested. Okay. But I am interested enough to kind of follow what's going on. And I noticed that the great right hype, also known as Cece, I'm not going to refer to her by her name other than Cece. She won 2 ESPY awards last night. I think one was for the Rookie of the Year. Okay. Um, she lost out on Female Athlete of the Year, which she should have, frankly, to Asia Wilson, who I'll talk about in just a few minutes. I might be the only person, but I don't think so. I am tired, sick and tired of the attention that the great right hype is receiving. To the point that I wrote on my community wall a couple of weeks ago that she only deserved a community wall post. I just saw so many vloggers, and of course, I would expect that sports commentators who work for corporate America, Stephen A., Mr. Bojangles Smith, Shannon Sharp, and so many others, I would expect for them, to give a lot of attention to the great right hype. I do expect that. And those bloggers who are huge on YouTube and do a variety of content and so forth, I can see why they would give her some attention. I just don't believe that she deserves all of the attention she's getting, right? And that goes into the credit that she's receiving for the WNBA and people being interested in watching the WNBA. Viewership is up, and it has been up for a while, even before CC joined the league. And of course, collegiate women's basketball. I never really followed it like that for a long time, but it is more exciting and interesting to me than male collegiate basketball these days, and it has been for quite some time. I would credit Don Staley and the Lady Gamecocks and the fantastic players for not just the Gamecocks, but in general, who've brought a lot of attention to women's basketball. I would credit that. And I will give the great right hype credit in that I think she's also brought a lot of attention to those who would normally look at the WNBA. But has she brought all of the attention that some of these sports commentators, i.e., Stephen A., Mr. Bojangles Smith, and others, want to give her credit for? No. Women's basketball, as I said, has been on the rise in terms of viewership for a while now. It just has been. Is she part of that? Of course. People are interested and they're tuning in. And clearly they're interested because she won 2 ESPY awards last night. So, good for her. Um, and she's getting a lot of positive energy from a lot of Black athletes like LeBron James and Serena Williams, Venus Williams, and many others. And I hope that they have the same energy for Asia Wilson, who just became the Las Vegas Aces leading scorer of all time, 4,301 points. Congratulations to her on that achievement. Asia Wilson had a stellar collegiate career, and that has only continued in the WNBA. She has a statue erected where she's from, Columbia, South Carolina, which happens to be one of the reddest of the red states, politically speaking, in this country. So the fact that this enormously talented young Black female athlete has a statue is pretty telling, especially for a state that up until 2015 was flying the Confederate flag, and that flag only came down after the Charleston tragedy, massacre, in 2015 at the church where 9 people lost their lives. So, yes, congratulations to Asia Wilson. And as I said, I hope that some of her fellow athletes will give her the same energy that they are giving the great white hype. But that remains to be seen. We know why corporate, mainstream sports commentators have to push CC so much. We know that she brings numbers to a very large crowd, so a lot of vloggers will cover her as well. So she brings those numbers, and she certainly is bringing numbers to the WNBA, although she should not receive credit for the sudden interest, which has been around for a while, just because women's collegiate basketball, in my opinion, is far more interesting these days. A lot of talented basketball players, and the viewership was up. And I think that the Lady Gamecocks under Dawn Staley deserve their credit for that as well. They've just been winning. So if we are to use the barometer, and we must, that mainstream sports commentators have in terms of who's on the list of GOATs, whether that's NFL or, in this case, the WNBA basketball, we have to use their measurement that they have, which is championships. And while CC has had a decent rookie year, and there's still a lot to come. She's only 22 years old, so staying healthy and just really being active with basketball will probably she'll win championships at some point, but she didn't win a championship in college. And so that's the barometer that mainstream sports commentators set, right? Yeah, championships matter. So, by their own definition, she can't really be considered one of the goats of women's basketball anyway, because she never won a championship. That's controversial, maybe to some, but I'm using the definition that is out there, right? Whenever you bring up a player like, use this example, uh, Charles Barkley, maybe not the best example, but an example nonetheless, never won a championship. So if he's not going to be considered as one of the GOATs because of that, then the same rule applies to everyone else. It should, shouldn't it? But that's logical and makes far too much sense, I think, for some. But nonetheless, Asia Wilson won the SB Female Athlete of the Year award, uh, which, again, congratulations to her. Kudos to her. I'm looking to see how much energy these individuals, Smith, Sharp, and others, give her for her accomplishments, which are great. I don't think, and leaving the athletes aside, but I don't think, and I hope I'm wrong, that there will be the same level of energy for Wilson that there was or is for CC. Remember, these guys work for corporate mainstream news, sports. So it's whatever the corporation wants, essentially. And I'm not hating on them for that. I mean, Stephen A. and Mr. Bojangles Smith just signed a $125 million contract with ESPN. Quite honestly, I was hoping he'd leave. But, he's there to stay. A failed athlete himself, but he's been covering sports for a very, very long time. And his observations, not impressed. You know, he doesn't make any more astute observations than those of us who watch not just basketball and football, but we watch golf and tennis and many other events. He seems to be very limited in his knowledge. Beyond, you get him beyond certain sports, and it's like nobody's home. But yeah, you can tell I don't really like Stephen A. Smith. I don't know him, obviously, but I just sense, not sense, I see, the way he treated his former partner, co host, Max Kellerman, and there are many other things that are problematic with him. But anyway, getting back to the point of the video, I'm tired. So let's talk about it. We have really kind of tired of the attention that this one person is receiving, but I guess you just have to suck it up. Um, she's getting a lot of attention. I had wrote on my community wall that she was winning, and she is winning. She signed a $28 million deal. She's going to be doing all these commercials. So if she never wins a championship, she's won right out of the gate. But again, she's 22 years old, a lot of growth in development in terms of attitude and personality too. So hopefully, one day she'll also be a great WNBA player. But for now, the attention is gag. Okay, enough already. We get it. But for those who want to say that she's solely responsible for the viewership in the WNBA, it couldn't be more wrong. She's not solely responsible for that. Just factor in that women's basketball at the collegiate and professional level is really interesting, dynamic, has a lot of interesting dynamic players, and a lot of people want to watch. And they are watching. So, you know, uh, she has played a role, of course, but not the role. She's not the star. But I know that corporate, mainstream, and the sports commentators want to make her the star. And even some black athletes want to make her the star at the expense of others, which I find to be sad. You've got this huge platform. Why don't you shout out Asia Wilson? I'm sure that some of them will, actually. I really believe that. Um, there's no reason not to. But, whether or not they keep the same energy for these other NBA players, I don't know. I think I have an answer for that, but I tend to be a pessimist when it comes to these things. And we are at the 16-minute, almost 17-minute mark. This is a little bit longer, and I didn't intend it to be. So, okay, wrapping this up, congratulations to Asia Wilson on becoming the Las Vegas Aces leading scorer. And also, can we give the great right hype a break? I need a break. Okay. I can tune her out. I have been. Only grudgingly did I make this video. It's not like I made it because I was excited to. I just thought, she's out there right now. So, going back on my own community wall post, yeah, I made a video. It's not like anybody is really going to watch it anyway. So I do appreciate those who do like, comment, and subscribe and post and let me know, give me feedback and so forth. I do like hearing from you all, and I do appreciate your support. And having said that, it is now time to go.